In this course, we will be reviewing foundational steps to help us create a successful change strategy. And it starts first with cultivating a culture of change. Like many of you watching this course, I too have led many teams through change. Some played out as planned, and others ended up being learning experiences for myself and the business. A common reason why change strategy struggles is when leaders fail to first prepare their employees for the upcoming change. When leaders fail to first create a culture of change, change becomes event-based, and employees are left to feel like the change is happening to them rather than feeling like a full participant in the change. Preparing our employees for change, for continual change, is more important than the strategy and execution of the actual change. In this module, we'll be reviewing how to best help lead your employees through the waters of change by cultivating a culture of change. Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, has been quoted as saying, "Change is the only constant in life." Change is taking place in some form or other in everyone's personal lives, always has and always will. But for some reason, when change shows up in the workplace, it's less accepted, and it can certainly be disruptive to the business and the teams. We certainly lessen the disruption of change and the fear of change when we first focus on cultivating a culture of change. Let's review 2 key steps that will help us create a culture of change. The first is to inspire a desire. This is where we help our team recognize and understand that change is and will be constant. The second key step in cultivating a culture of change is to provide a continuous learning environment for all employees. Let's now unpack each of these a bit more for better understanding. First, inspire the desire. This requires ongoing training and communication around the importance of change to create a sense of urgency with the team and to help them understand the value of change. We should incorporate conversations around the need for change in all our meetings, one-on-one conversations, and even just in casual conversations over lunch or a cup of coffee. Inspire the desire by bringing the value of change alive for your team. Share examples of not only the benefits of change, but examples of what will happen if change doesn't take place. Inspiring the desire for change should be taking place all the time, not just right before a big change is about to happen. And the next way we cultivate a culture of change is to build a continuous learning environment. This is done by providing opportunities for both leaders and employees to be continually upskilling and reskilling their hard skills, and opportunities to refine and define their soft skills. Continuous learning ensures the team is ready and prepared for the next change that comes their way. Continuous learning environments provide opportunities for individual development, and they provide opportunities to skill up our hard skills, and they allow for soft skill development, which allows us to flex and embrace change more easily. I'll quickly define the difference between hard and soft skills. Hard skills are teachable and measurable abilities, such as coding, surveying, and design. Skills necessary to successfully perform technical tasks in a job. Basically, the skills that allow us to do what we do. Soft skills are the traits that make you a good employee, such as etiquette, communication, being a team player, and getting along with other people. Soft skills are necessary to create a positive and functional work environment. Most companies do pretty well at providing resources to ensure their team's hard skills are up to par with the needs of the business, but they often forget the soft skills. Soft skill training opportunities help enhance and develop the employee's ability to be agile and flex at a moment's notice when change approaches. Let's chat about 2 of the most successful soft skill trainings that show to help in cultivating change environments. First is to provide ongoing instruction and activities that encourage all employees in the company to value and develop a growth mindset. As our employees learn to look at change through a growth mindset, it lessens their anxiety around change by engaging curiosity around the positive benefits of change. Pluralsight has 2 courses that complement this course, and they incorporate growth mindset trainings, embracing change, staying agile in the midst of change, and becoming a change leader. Now, the second most important and highly relevant soft skill training for teams would be trainings designed around identifying stress triggers and change coping skills. These soft skills trainings are designed to help employees recognize and understand their emotions around change and prepares them in advance for the change. Great trainings can also be designed and offered to employees around understanding the psychology of change and recognizing their coping styles. These 2 soft skill trainings are crucial in the work of cultivating cultures of change. As leaders commit to proactively build a change culture, just like the farmer preparing his soil before planting, your team will have a greater chance to flourish each time a new change is introduced into their environment. Next, we move into phase 3. This phase is the make it or break it stage. The engage phase. McKinsey research shows that 70% of organizations fail to reach their change initiative goals due to employee resistance and lack of management support. Phase 3 is the most critical phase, as this is where both of these are addressed, as the engage phase is where the rollout, communication, execution, and follow-up takes place. As we review the key steps in this phase, notice that each step is continual, ongoing, endlessly initiated by leaders who are relentless in their follow-up and follow-through until sustainable change is realized. There is certainly no been there, done it, check it off my list in this stage. First is to communicate continuously. Everyone listening to this course clearly understands how critical continuous communication is. Communication kicks off initially with the vision and the change plan, but it also includes team and department communication and individual communication around newly defined roles and responsibilities, as it includes updating the entire team on the progress or lack of progress of the change plan. Remember, ongoing, transparent, inspiring, and consistency is the key to effective communication during change. Next is our training and development step. This reminds us of the importance of continuous training and skill development, developing new behaviors and learning new skills to support any new resources, tools, or sales models that need to be learned. We move on to the next step of removing obstacles. Remember that 70% failure rate I mentioned earlier, due in part to the lack of management support? This can easily happen in this stage if leaders aren't fully engaged in how the work is being executed. They must lead from a position to notice, to recognize roadblocks and obstacles to the work. These will certainly arise as a change is taking place. We now move on to the verify and recognize progress steps. This is where leaders engage in measuring and recognizing progress. We all know change elevates anxiety and stress in the workplace. We counteract that stress with engaged leaders who make sure employees are receiving encouraging feedback and praise for effort and progress, not just for results. Continual measuring of progress also helps to motivate the team as they visualize and hear about their progress towards the goal accomplishment. This validating step allows you to review the viability of your plan, helps you to identify any inefficiencies which may need to be course corrected. This leads us into the final step of our engage phase. Course correct when needed. The plan will go off track and probably more than once. There is no doubt about it. It's expected. Leaders need to adapt, adjust, and get the team back on track. Other times to course correct is when you uncover previously unknown information that wasn't considered during the strategy planning. Just moving through a strategy plan to check things off the list doesn't make sense if you find you're going in the wrong direction. Remember, all 5 steps in the engage phase are not a one-and-done deal. Continuous communication, ongoing removing of obstacles, continuous recognition, ongoing course correcting, and ongoing progress checks is key.